Hello and welcome to my video lecture on testing and debugging PHP files. So here we've got an error displayed in Chrome, right? So this is what the display is going to look like, but I think it's much easier to just go and look to see what it looks like. Right now we don't have it displayed in my browser, so here I am in NetBeans, and I'm going to run my main project, which is the Chapter 1 product discount. So when I click to run that, it opens up in my browser. I have no error messages. So right now, for as far as I know, my page is syntactically correct since my Apache server was able to read it. So of course, first of all, if we're going to be doing PHP, we have to make sure we have XAMPP up and running, especially the Apache server. MySQL we're going to need up and running if we're interacting with data. For the product discount calculator, we're not. So we don't necessarily need this running right now. So here's our product discount calculator. It's running. It's apparently syntactically correct since the Apache server is displaying this page for us. So we can put in the product description, right? Whatever we want. I'm going to put in the list price as 25 and discount percent as 5, and I'm going to calculate the discount, and everything works properly. First of all, this worked, so that's good. But what we want to do, and again we'll get into this as we get into more advanced topics, is we're going to want to handle things such as when someone enters something that's unexpected. So if someone was to put in $25 and then put in 5%, what happens? So here we get a warning, not necessarily an error, but we get a warning that the number format expects parameter 1 to be double and a string is given. And it tells you where it is. It's pretty good, right? So it tells you that in XAMPP, htdocs, bookapps, chapter 1 product discount, the display discount PHP file on line 12 has encountered a problem. And if we go to our NetBeans and we look at our display discount, and we go to line 12, this is our line 12, and what it's trying to do is it's trying to pass the list price into a number format function, and the number format function is looking for a numeric value to be entered. And since list price, the way we entered it, the list price, notice here that we have a $sign, so right there, there's a problem with that. If we go back and we take a look, we can see that the list price was entered with a $sign in front of it. If we leave that out, one of the other things we want to test while we're debugging and testing the project is to leave things out. So again, it's looking for a double value. Double is a numeric data type. And it doesn't have one, so it doesn't know what to do. And then notice the standard discount has 2% signs, which is also invalid. So say we make this 25, and we leave the 5% there. We try to do the discount. It will actually do the discount properly. It's just that the percentage display looks a little weird, and that's because the code is handling the issues with the discount percent. Again, we want to make sure that Apache and MySQL servers are running, especially as we develop applications that start dealing with MySQL data. We want to start the web browser and enter the URL for the application, or, as I did from NetBeans, start the default project and make sure your default project is the project you actually want to test. And then test the page by entering both valid and invalid data, clicking on all the links and everything to make sure that you've tested everything on this page locally before you put it on your internet server where the world can see the page. You want to make sure it works before you go publishing it in production. So how to retest a PHP after changes, you just reload or refresh the button in the browser. So here, if we had made any changes to our code, we would go back to our browser and simply click the refresh button, which would reload this page. So again, if I reload the page, it'll just wipe out whatever data was in there and let me enter in new data. So here's the source code again. How do you view the source code? So once I'm in my browser, I can right click anywhere, and here's my view page source. So when I click that, that'll open up a new window and will show me the source. Now, this is the index.html file. All right, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to enter in my data. We'll make the product description a shoe. We'll make it $57 because it's a good shoe and a 5% discount. And I'm going to calculate the discount, and there's my shoe, $57. This is my discount PHP. If I right click and I view the page source, all that's here is the HTML. So this is all that gets sent back from the Apache server to be displayed by my browser. Remember, in NetBeans, right, my display discount PHP file has PHP code in it. So what happens is this PHP code gets executed and does not get sent back to the browser because the browser isn't going to know what to do with PHP. PHP is a server-side language, so it has to get processed by the server, and then the server will return an HTML file that can be rendered properly by the browser. So here's our HTML code that gets returned by the browser. Again, how to view the source. In Chrome and Firefox, you would right-click and pick the view page source. In Internet Explorer, it's just you right-click and you check off view source. And again, we've taken a look at NetBeans, and I'll do that in a separate video lecture. But for now, that's how to basically test and debug a PHP page. We're going to get into more advanced debugging techniques later on in the course.